what really makes money is always very boring.
If you solve that boring business very thoroughly with a discipline, no, you can make a money out of that. I think there is a wide space of e-commerce, there is a dark space of logistics. There is something can be made out of this. After 18 months of running that, we realized that people are not ready for this kind of service. Or they need the service, but they are not ready to pay for it.
They are not ready to pay, yes.
We need to shut that venture. We lost maybe 80 lakh or crore in 2014-15. So you need to know, yaar, meri ye limit hai.
Good word, yeah.
I can't go beyond this. So market was just shaping up. COVID has accelerated our growth. If we could have survived one more year.
Why didn't you raise funds?
Maybe a self-doubt, you can say that. We were not from this background. Will people give me fund? Will be able to do a justice to them? We said, yaar, let's first build a business. Investment to baad mein aa hi jayega. Bootstrapping till you know what you want to do. And then once you are sure, go for funding.
Go for funding.
It's a phase-wise approach. Success solves some problem, not all the problem. And people currently see valuation as a validation or a valuation as a success. Whereas valuation is not a success. In one way, it is cash stress-free approach to your business, but it creates a different problem for you.
Sure.
Because when you have a capital and when you go for a speed, you may expose your weaknesses. When you get a money, you want to
go all out.
Go all out.
That's the reason you got the money.
Correct.
Right?
And that's when you know that your unit economics are not working well. It will accelerate your loss, not the growth. Revenue may increase, but bottom line will not be stable.
I really liked your thinking around what real India is not in the glass office or in the glass door. You really have to go down. What are you seeing over there? What is the opportunity? The Darshana Shah Show is not just another podcast, but something which is my personal purpose to create the next generation leadership, to teach them how to succeed or pivot when the time is right. And if you're enjoying this, do remember to show me love and subscribe. So hi Nayaan, thank you so much for coming to my show.
Thank you, Darshana, for inviting me here. And I'm looking forward to these conversations ahead.
Yes, in fact, one of the things that you say, and I'm very keen to understand that building a logistic business, and I've always read, Nayaan, that what really makes money is always very boring. People are chasing all these fancy dreams today, so many influencers, content creators, so everybody wants to make either fashion mein business, cosmetics, skincare, everything is very glamorous and fancy. But what really makes money, and I have learned this in my career, and now I'm working with the Birla Group, कि जो boring है वो पैसा बनाता है, rest is, and that's exactly what back then logistics was. And you being a CA and a finance guy, I'm very keen to know that what really got you to do logistics.
So it will go back to the base. So like I said, I was a chartered accountant. I did degree for a knowledge, but being Gujarati, I was always keen to do business, like kuch to business banayenge. And I was with one of the teleshopping company. Prior to WPP, I was with one of the teleshopping company, and what the product used to sell on the TV, there was some distribution challenge I seen, like logistics problem thi in 2011-12 I'm talking. And at the same time, I have seen e-commerce coming into India. Very early days. Very early days of that. I think there is a wide space of e-commerce. There is a dark space of logistics. There is something can be made out of this. And if you solve this problem, it is something can be for a long period. And obviously, back then also everybody was making something on the website कि हम website बना के देंगे, payment gateway बना के देंगे, but nobody was clearly saying that will solve the logistics. So that's when, and like you rightly said, boring business में कोई जल्दी आना नहीं चाहता. If you solve that boring business very thoroughly with a discipline, you can make a money out of that. Obviously, it's a thin margin business. It is a chaotic and a thankless job as a logistics guy, but it is a crucial for your business. And CA told me that unless and until product is not delivered, it is not a sales. It's just an order.
Correct.
आपको पैसे तभी मिलेंगे जब product मैं आपको deliver करूँगा.
So interesting. तो ही मिलेगा, वरना
it's just an order.
Yeah. So, but back then also, Nayaan, you had big daddies like FedEx, Blue Dart, a lot of local players also, like the one who was your who's your investor like Maruti, they've been there since a while, and there were many such local players also. So it's not that it was logistics was a plain ground, right? So you never had this issue that you don't have the background. Yeah, well, you had the insight, you didn't have the background. On top of that, you didn't have technology as a background, and you were taking on a larger players headlong without really knowing the playground. How did you like sort of navigated that?
So, like I said, e-commerce was early days. All these players, which you mentioned, are a giant in their own self. They were working with a big enterprise company. They were saying e-commerce may be a bubble and may not scale as it is. And their approach was they were not too approachable by a small consumer. Like, let's say, if you want to start your e-commerce company and you are in 2011, all this carrier may not give you direct access to their network. They said आपको इतना deposit देना पड़ेगा, आपको ये करना पड़ेगा.
So they were not open.
There was a challenge in entry for them, and we come as that layer that obviously we use all this carrier company which you mentioned in the back end, and we do an integration with them. And but if you need us, let's say you have a 10 parcels a day or a 10 parcels a month, you can work with us, but you don't directly can't go to the biggies
big
like a Blue
ones,
Dart
yeah.
and all the folks. And then that layer was the key thing, and obviously
So that was a missing gap you
missing
identified
gap
for the small
yes,
players.
small players. And here also the customer need two things. They need obviously network to expand, and they need an experience. Like अगर मेरा parcel किधर है क्या है, I need to have visibility. That visibility via tech we provided to them, and that's when the player like us, Shipyaari, comes into the picture and bridge the gap between the carrier and the end consumer. And for carrier, we were solving a distribution problem. Like if they come to us, like with a Shipyaari, they have multiple small vendors, but they don't need to manage all of them. We are there to manage them.
Interesting. And man, you were working. See, many of us, like I said, I've started business twice alongside work because वो काम छोड़ के to give away your, and because all of us at this stage and age of our life, we have responsibilities, EMIs, we are really knee deep, and in that to leave the job or the secured safety net of salary and starting has always been a difficult thing. But you were hustling. You were like, hustling is a new word, but back then I don't know if you knew the word hustle, but you were doing both. You were building something in the night and working on the day. I mean, how did you and then you succeeded and you lasted most of the times, and many like me would give up in their dream or what they have started, but you sustained it and sustained it for long. I'm very keen for you to talk on that.
So frankly speaking, I also Shipyaari we started in 2013, and within this aggregation product in the mind. End of 2014, we realized we need to solve not via technology but via operations as well. We started a same day, next day, and a 4-hour delivery way back in 2014-15. It was under the name of Erunners. I left a job at WPP and I started full time running on to this. We run it for 18 months. We scaled it operations in Mumbai fully, around 50-60 bikers, 6-7 hubs, everything. And all of that from the bootstrap funding we were managing. After 18 months of running that, we realized that people are not ready for this kind of service, or they need the service but they are not ready to pay for it. कि आप 40 रुपए 50 रुपए एक्स्ट्रा दे दो and I'll give you same day delivery. So they were okay कि 3 दिन के बाद आएगा तो I'm okay. So that's when we need to shut that venture. We lost maybe 80 lakh or crore in 2014-15. And if I'll tell you 15 as the year, has so many things changed for me. Obviously, I got married in 2015. 2014, I took a property. But after this early pivot, or what you call it, ahead of the market product, we need to shut it down. And then I went back to job.
Well, see, this is very interesting, and I always tell to a lot of people, a lot of these, people who have these dreams or जिसको अपना कुछ चालू करना है. It's very important to realize that okay, fine, it's not worked. I have to go back to a job. People are struggling, then they try. अब एक बार छोड़ दिया ना, तो now let me try another thing and another thing, and then you're getting from constantly in the loop. So it takes a lot of courage to really, because were you in two minds that did you oh my god अब वापस job पे जाना है, या or was that EMI and the finance responsibility के कारण?
So there are two things, frankly speaking, and the point which you said, when you realize कि कब बंद करना है, like what we have in the stock market, we call it as a stop loss policy.
Absolutely.
So you need to know, यार मेरी ये limit है.
Good word, yeah.
I can't go beyond this, like because we were bootstrap, and me and my co-founder both don't come from the silver spoon family. That 1 crore or 80 lakh was lost was some sort of our money and as well as the borrowed money. When you have a responsibility, you need to think of everybody. You can't think of yourself.
True.
And back then we also have an employees. So I was not thinking for myself. So I said, "कि ठीक है, it is a good idea. Market is not ready. We'll build it again, but this is not the time." That's when
But Shipyaari continued.
Shipyaari continued. So I had a good co-founders. My brother was running the show. So what we did, like me and Vishal decided कि हम will do something in the parallel. Like I go back to job. Vishal started his another venture into electronic shop. So that कि जहाँ से पैसे आएंगे and we'll have our personal obligations settle from
Your
there.
house is running.
And meanwhile we asked Bhavesh to run the business. कि you run the Shipyaari. And we'll help you in the back end, like from the weekend kind of in support, or maybe on the night support, or we are available on the phone. Because like we have our responsibility with WPP or the respective companies we were working for. And that worked really well for us because we sailed through that time, frankly speaking. And I have seen the days when Shipyaari did not have a fund. I got my salary on 31st. I'm paying that salary to my employees on 4th or 5th. So that was an hustle. Like that word was not there, but that spirit was there. So selling through that period, when we realized that this is the time, I can't shut it down because obviously I need to pay the lenders, I need to pay the employees, and it worked well for us. The client keep coming to us after we shut it down. He said, "अभी ये कर सकते हैं क्या?" एंड आई थिंक हमने बंद करा और उसके 6 महीने या तो साल भर के बाद Amazon come with that Prime Day delivery, like assured. Flipkart come up with assured delivery after a year of what we did, obviously. So market was just shaping up. If we could have survived one more year,
Right.
maybe a different game to them.
Did you then back then feel the pinch that, oh God, I was just a year, 12 months? I mean, did you then pick it up back and started then?
It kept haunting me.
Yeah.
It kept haunting me. And obviously when you fail because not because of your product was bad or not because your team was bad, it's because market was not ready. So it pinch you more कि यार ऐसे तो क्या गलती कर दी हमने, like we got punished for no fault of us. And I think 2020 में हम सोच रहे थे फिर से build करेंगे, and that's when COVID hit.
Correct. Sometimes you were planning and life plans for you.
Then we hold it again for 2-3 years, and then we started in I think 2023 or 22. We again started this, but back then obviously from the learning we said that we will do with some external funding. So we took a strategic investment from a partner who has a ground operations and all of that. So it worked well in our plan back then.
So tell me, when you were building Shipyaari, whilst this one was your same day next day product, but Shipyaari was your aggregated platform. Why didn't you raise funds?
So there are 2-3 things, frankly speaking. One was one haunt ki if I can't do a justice to my own money, which is the lending money, and then I don't have a right to get an external fund as well. Like if I fail on my own investment, I shouldn't go something with an external funding as well.
Coming from your Gujarati Marwadi background that कि
वो भी एक था कि यार इक्विटी इतना जल्दी क्यों डाइल्यूट करना है. Like again, you want to control the business, you want to be in a control of your own business. कि यार इक्विटी कैप टेबल पे और कौन बंदे नहीं ऐड करते हैं. And वही गुजराती मारवाड़ी माइंडसेट कि यार can we build a business out of the cash flow or from the customers fund as well. And second thing, which was one maybe a self doubt, you can say, that we were not from this background. कि यार मैं लॉजिस्टिक्स से भी नहीं हूँ, मैं टेक से भी नहीं हूँ. Will people give me fund? Will be able to do a justice to them? So that
you were
dilemma.
The imposter syndrome for long, right? In spite of running and getting in the business, but this is very true. This is human.
Then we realized that if we need to scale this same day, next day delivery or a 4-hour delivery, we may need fund. So investor, we reached out to investors. They said pivot करो because idea is new. I don't know market चलेगा कि नहीं चलेगा. You pivot, then we'll fund you.
Okay.
Pivot के बाद थोड़ा traction दिखाओ, then we'll fund you. So all of that was a challenge. They said कि यार let's first build a business. इन्वेस्टमेंट तो बाद में आ ही जाएगा. एंड दैट्स व्हाट हैपेंड इन 2022 व्हेन वी आर बिल्डिंग बिजनेस. कोविड हैज एक्सेलरेटेड आवर ग्रोथ. In the COVID, we rebuilt our system. There was some internal chaos in the system. Obviously, it was a homegrown system. So we kind of rectified all the mistakes we were knowing. And by 22, we were kind of ready in mentally कि यार अब मैं funding उठा सकता हूँ. And then learning from the past mistakes, saying that we need a team now. We need a talent, like team and the talent we need. Obviously, we need a capital in the table so that if you want to scale it, there is a backup plan.
There is a backup plan. But then, did you feel that there were other, founders raising money, scaling faster? Did you feel that you were losing time? Because sometimes overthinking or planning so much, maybe it's right, but then somebody's taken the game, right? So you may have had the early starters advantage, but you were not, because there were a lot of players by then. Delivery came in, a lot of players have
Yeah.
grown.
Yeah.
Did you really feel that you lost the time, or what did you tell yourself?
Or in the hindsight, if I see now, ऐसा लग रहा है कि we could have done it differently. But if you see the situation back then, where you don't have a larger visibility, like what you are saying, investment back then was available. ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं available था. Maybe not an access to those people because of our background, because of our this thing. So हमारा वो access directly नहीं था. And whoever we were reaching out to him, they said pivot करो, थोड़ा scale करो, उसकी बात
They
करते
were
हैं.
asking, pivot had become a
Big thing, and say that थोड़ा traction दिखाओ.
थोड़ा traction.
So we were keep doing that.
And you all were only in Bombay at that time?
So we started our headquarter always in the Mumbai, but our operation was like it's a tech platform. It was across the India.
Okay.
And I still feel that we could have done it differently. But what I see is that कि यार हमको सबको headlines दिखती है, like इसने funding उठा ली, इसने ये कर लिया. But there is internal chaos. Is there stability in the business? अगर कल फंडिंग नहीं है, क्या बिजनेस चल सकता है कि नहीं चल सकता है? अगेन दैट फिल्टर ऑफ गुजराती और दैट फिल्टर ऑफ सीए पुट्स मी इनटू द सिचुएशन कि यार कल फंडिंग बंद हो गई, मेरा बिजनेस चलेगा क्या?
Yeah, it's a very important
अगर मेरा like people say that cash is an oxygen.
Yes.
अगर मेरा ऑक्सीजन बंद हो गया, I can't run the
You can't
business.
survive.
Cash can be your external investor or cash can be your internal generated cash flow. So our focus was that can we do this via internal cash flow?
Cash flow.
And once you are fully committed, when you know like after 10 years of pivot, once you realize नहीं यहाँ product अच्छा है, team अच्छी है, now we have a traction, that's when I decided कि अब हम funding के लिए ready है mentally and corporate level पे भी we are ready on that. So that was
your
the journey on.
Coming back to then, how did you have to look at, now I want to see you as a leader, Nayaan, and as a leader, like double tapping on that कि आपने जब अपनी company बनाई, things were different, you were solving a different problem, to suddenly the category expanded इतना कि now all these newer things started coming in, and so did you have to really change in the way you all were looking at people, hiring, training? So let's talk on that, because it's more your leadership style.
So frankly speaking, things were evolving. Like market, e-commerce was new. Then first that doorstep delivery came into the picture. Then the faster delivery came into the picture. Then this reverse logistics. Then the COD. All of that came into the picture. The checkout as a product, which is part of the logistics now. All of them came. It's on the go.
Yeah.
And obviously we were not wired to work on that. So you need to expand your team. You need to have somebody who is from the different experience or exposures in that industry. You hire a key talent. So I would say that in my 10-12 years I have a good opportunity to work with the good fellows around the industry. They came, they built the Shipyaari. Obviously I was not the only one who built the Shipyaari. The people around me, and I call it as a Shipyaari gang, they have built the Shipyaari what it is today. And when I was thinking to leave, like I said, I want to move from the day-to-day operation, that's when I was relying on my gang only, that they will be able to run it well. And obviously, if you hired well, you need to do a one-time good job. एक बंदा hire अच्छा कर लो, then you have a rest of the things, he will manage it for you.
So then tell me, many people like you who are trying to build a business on the side, because you're also still working, there is a day job, there is a night work, there is a weekend. In that, because आपका एक day job भी है, and there also you'll have a team, you're doing something else for an organization. So when you're in that, even your full-time founder, of course, because you're more in control, you're day to day taking calls. Now here you are also in your team meeting, your work meeting. What kind of team then do you build? Because how do you, or do you, because see, it's very difficult. Trust me, I've done this. And obviously, I read somewhere you had 20, 30 people initially, whilst I had 4 or 5 people, but that constant, changing the hat. अब किसी को देख तो रखा है, but your attitude कि you still want to control because it's still a business that you're growing, and you're not able to do justice because आप यहाँ पे भी नहीं हो, आप यहाँ पे भी हो. I want to, because a lot of people are trying to do simultaneous दो
Multi jobs,
चीज़ें.
yeah.
हाँ, तो उसमें what is the leadership style that one should have?
What you need to do is the key indicators. The people who call it as a key KPI. KPI is not with respect to the numbers. KPI is with respect to the employees that team is managing. Let's say, like I said, I was working parallelly somewhere else, but if I get some random call from my one of employee out of blue, not the team lead which I was referring, but small junior associate, somebody said, "Sir, I am having this problem." That's one of the indicator I have it here. Then my team leader or the manager who is running the show is not doing a good job. Because if people need to come to me for some solution, that means there is some gap.
There's
Obviously,
some gap.
it is not something he is fully blamed for, but there is something broken in the system. So as a leadership, when you are doing any, like if it's your job or if it's your startup, your system need to works rather than the people. अगर आपका एक इकोसिस्टम बना हुआ है विद इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, एंड लाइक आई सेड SOP बनी हुई है, एंड देन एवरीबडी इज स्टिकिंग टू दैट SOP, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली दैट SOP नीड टू ट्विग्ड एवरी नाउ एंड देन बेस्ड ऑन द बिजनेस रिक्वायरमेंट चेंज, बट यू नीड टू नो दैट अगर ये चीज़ करनी है तो मेरे को 5 चीज़ें पहले करनी ही पड़ेगी, एंड स्टेप बाय स्टेप अप्रोच. सो फॉर अ हसलिंग काइंड ऑफ अ मोड, पीपल टू एम्फोसिस ऑन द पैशन, कि मेरा पैशन है मैं बना लूँगा. पैशन से या आइडिया से बिजनेस शुरू हो सकता है.
करेक्ट.
चलना सिस्टम से है, चलना स्ट्रक्चर से है. अगर इफ यू डोंट हैव अ राइट रिपोर्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर, इफ यू डोंट हैव अ राइट रिपोर्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू द पीपल, लाइक देयर आर 2 रिपोर्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर. वन इज द डैशबोर्ड यू रिव्यू एंड वन इज दैट हायरार्कियल रिपोर्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर, कि यार कौन किसको कहाँ रिपोर्ट कर रहा है.
Nice. Let's talk about trust, power, and how the public failure comes. When it comes on the face. And in your case, because you said logistics is a business of trust, right? But there has been public complaints when there is delay of COD, a product is getting delayed, or payouts are getting delayed because you are on the seller side of things. And there was a data exposure incident that has happened. So, when you first learned about data exposure, what was your immediate reaction?
Responsibility. It's my responsibility, I need to fix this, rather than reacting into that and going public saying that this is wrong or whatever has happened is not our mistake. All of that is not the approach we took. Is that let's fix it, let's check it internally, is there any mishap happens from our end? If it is, let's fix that. And if anything which needs to be communicated, it needs to be communicated by our work, not by our press releases.
So you all didn't do any press, so you didn't go around or telling your sellers, your
trust can
customers.
be rebuilt slowly. It can't be just go on the screen and saying that nahi kal se sab sudhar jayega. Nobody will trust you. What you need to do, you need to fix it from the core. So we fixed it in the system. It took time, like slowly and steadily it solves the problem, and people see through you. Like when you are seeing in your press release कि यार सब कुछ बढ़िया चल रहा है, but they see through you.
True.
They don't buy the BS now. They know everything. Like consumer is smart.
Yes.
So what you need to do, you need to, from your conviction or from your action, you need to show what it is.
So you're saying action are louder than the words, right? But tell me, so how? But because your business is around trust, and I'm going to give you an example of what Indigo did, right? And they really held customers to ransom. So definitely they saw a lot of dip. People had stopped buying tickets for Indigo. Similarly, did you go through that problem initially because because data is leaked and the incident has happened, so did people stop taking Shipyaari as a logistics?
Yes.
And how did you build, like what time did it take for you
So once the trust is broken or there is some incident which kind of shake your trust, it takes time to rebuild it. And obviously it has a reflection from the seller side of it or from the vendor side of it कि नहीं यार अभी काम नहीं करना है. So you go with your system clarity, because we did internal checks, we did third party reviews, external certification करवा ली कि भाई we are kind of managing our system very well, and you go with that conviction, go back to the consumer again saying that जो हुआ, whatever has happened, I am not here to justify it or
True.
do a damage control around that. This is what happened. We take the full responsibility around that. But this is the precautions has been taken care of it, and now it will not happen because of so reasons. And these are the checklists. If you believe to work with us, you liked our service, or you have any other issues other than this, happy to talk around that. We went purely with to them and had a natural conversation with them. Some of them came back to us. Some of them had their own alternate options. So it's fair for them to work with them.
So how long? So because see, these are reality, and this is the reason why I did my show, because these are real failures, and this is business में ये होता है.
Correct.
It's life, right? And you don't realize something because when you are running technology, you really don't know where the bug can come. And today, the cybersecurity and hacking is a big business
thing,
by
yeah,
itself, right? So to build this, now, and what kind of a mindset as founders? Because you three would have sat and really figured, right? Why? Because what did you all get into blame game? Thing, what happened? How does it work behind the scenes?
First reaction was, how did this happen? Rather than reflecting to outside, we 3, 4, 5 folks sit together and said, exactly kahan pe hua? Let's see the flow. Is there any particular incident happened? Is a one time? It's a recurring. There is some leak in the data. There is leak in the people. Let's fix that from the system. That was our first reaction. And once you set systems right, checklists right triggers in the system, then you realize this has happened because of some of the 2-3 reasons around that, and then you try to fix around that. It was not purely blame game, but yeah, people took the accountability. As this is my domain of the work, I take the full moral responsibility around that, and we'll make sure that this doesn't happen. These are the precautions we are taking it. Then the cross verifications, the cross checking, everything started working around that, and every failures make your system stronger is what I believe. So that incident made our system very stronger. The system from the tech side of it, as well as working style of it as well.
Yeah, your SOP became
SOP become more stringent.
more stringent. Right. I hope you're enjoying the conversations, and do remember that me and my team really work hard, do a lot of research to bring these conversations, give it more meaning and making it more insightful. So do show your love and subscribe. So you describe big brands as lions and small brands as their cubs. Is empowering small, brands a business strategy, or was it your personal conviction?
Both. So I come from the very middle class background. So I always knew that business mein how it helps if somebody helps you in the business. Like it's a support system. You
Support
need
system.
it. So every lion is some or the other day was the cub. So if you are lion today, somebody might have helped you to become a lion. So that was our thesis behind that thing here. If I help the small player now, they'll stick to you in the future. It's a long-term
Loyalty.
strategy for a loyalty of the business, as well as the personal conviction कि यार अगर छोटे business के साथ हम खड़े रहेंगे, and like we were building the aggregation business.
Right.
So aggregation is when you're having too many people with you, and that helps you to negotiate well with the carrier, negotiate well with the third party. So you need to have a right set of people with you as a cub. And the small brands loves somebody who supports them, and they are stick and loyal to them in a long run.
And you'll grow together.
And you
I think
grow together.
together. That's so true. What do small founders misunderstand about logistics?
They see logistics is just a shipping. They don't see chaos and exceptional management which is there in that. Because agar thorough parcel chala jata, like from A to B, it is reaching on time, nobody wants to come back to you.
Right.
Nobody wants to call you, mera parcel kidhar hai, if it's coming within the time frame. So logistics is all about trust and the discipline. Everybody in the supply chain or everybody in the chain needs to be disciplined about what they are doing it.
And there is so much pressure, right? So I know, I'll tell you what damage it can do on a brand. So I had ordered from Flipkart. My son's birthday I was celebrating, and this I'm talking about 7-8 years back, I think pre-COVID. And it was a return gift that, because we had a theme, you know how it is, all those themes. And I had ordered, it was a swimming pool and the Spider-Man towels. That towel didn't reach me on time. Now I don't know, it was a logistic issue, and Flipkart was saying that my partner took time, and I'm just talking about 8 years back. So now things are even much more faster, tighter, and all of that. तभी तो ये सब था नहीं. I tell you what I did from then on till now. I have stopped buying on Flipkart because, like you said, the emotion, my moment of truth, it was my son's birthday. Now, I don't have, look at the panic in my life. It's a whole theme that I have done. It's my return gift. And at that time, where will I go and buy? So I had to
Locally.
really buy something else. But that's it. For me, the brand got disqualified in my head. I really didn't blame the logistic partner because it's not front end for me as an end consumer. I decided till date, I don't have Flipkart on my phone. So I can see the pressure that a logistic company is carrying. I don't know if you realize that, right?
So what you are saying is exactly there, and bang on. We used to tell to the brand saying that one logistics bad experience and you will lose that customer.
Yeah.
You have too much, like in your example, if I said Flipkart must have done many things to come on the app and you to buy them. Like there must be cost of acquisitions, there must be some ads they have shown you, or there is some referral they have given to you.
And today's very easy, right? Delete the app.
Delete the app. What you did it, why you delete the app? Because of the logistics mishap. One logistics mishap.
Yes.
Because that's the emotionally connected to you. So that's what we said to that. Logistics is not the cost center. It's an experience center or a revenue center. अगर आपको वही फ्लिपकार्ट से नहीं आया और उसी दिन अमेजोन से आपने मंगाया और आधे घंटे में आ गया होता, 1 घंटे में आ गया होता था, you are a lifetime loyal person to Amazon.
Absolutely.
And here, nothing wrong with Flipkart, nothing wrong with Amazon. It's just that the logistics partner did something happen. Obviously, it might not be intentional or unintentional, but some mishap happened because of logistics that ruined your experience.
Yes, and back then it was not so transparent, so strong. Today, what they say and they deliver is different, but that's the game. So I want to double tap on this whole experience as a culture Shipyaari, because you had so many small aggregator, delivery. They were your last mile guys, partners, right? What was the experience then you were promising? Like, why were you different?
So our Shipyaari, like I said, we were not a courier company ourselves. We were a layer between the courier and the consumer. And that layer need to solve for something. One was the efficiency. One was the experience. These are the two things which we were bringing.
And when you mean experience, what does it solve for?
Experience at a multifold level. For a brand and the consumer, there is a pickup chaos. If I talk logistics, आपके घर से पिकअप करना है, कितने बजे करना है, क्या करना है, too much of communications, package आपने छोटा बोला था, बड़ा आ गया. So there is a pickup hassle as well. So experience for a first mile people, like picking from your home.
Yeah.
Experience for the last mile, which is your doorstep, consumer doorstep. क्या आप रात को 12 बजे deliver करने नहीं जा सकते. You need to within your time frame you need to do. You can't keep calling them again and again for the one parcel. The experience around that, आप उनको damage parcel नहीं दे सकते. It needs to be in in-tech situations, all of that. So that an experience at a last mile level. And then the most important is the experience between this transition, communication. ये parcel यहाँ पहुँचे, like
the whole
transparency, communication via WhatsApp, via SMS. If I give it to you, you are kind of a calmer consumer. अगर आपको पता है कि मेरा 12 तारीख को आने वाला है, then you are calmer कि हाँ 12 तारीख को आएगा. You'll not panic before 12.
True.
If you can panic after 12. So our core job was that how can we create that reduction of a panicness in the consumer mindset via communication.
Yeah, and consumer is forgiving if they are aware. अगर transparency है तो they are not going to jump on your head.
Exactly.
And with this whole quick commerce starting, the whole 10-minute delivery and all, are you guys now looking at playing with them? I like with Zepto, Blinkit, all these guys. So does that become because they have dark centers and it's a very different business game, right? So in that, is your logistics or they have direct logistic partners?
They have a direct logistics partner and they work with their own partners. We work with the brands to make sure that parcel reaches to the dark store.
Okay, so that's...
Let's say I'm working with X brand. They want their parcel at a Zepto's mother warehouse. So we help them, brands, to take that product to the Zepto or a Blinkit's mother warehouse.
Okay.
And there are other dark store, obviously not this one, where what we are doing from the mother warehouse to the dark store in a city level, we do the distribution as well.
So it's more B2B there.
More
so
B2B.
Because you don't have the 10-minute delivery pressure on you. That they are taking the whole last mile.
Now the 10-minute is not, nobody can publicize this because of the government ruling now. So everybody is saying that we'll reach faster. They are not saying 10 minutes. They are not using 10 minutes now.
Yeah, but I'm so glad because it is a chaos for the delivery guy on the road, for people on the road. Like I
Yeah.
used to really find it really crazy. Only India can do this. Whilst Domino's had solved this, like I don't know how many,
Yeah,
20
10, 12
years
years.
back, that 30 minutes
30 minutes
delivery.
delivery.
Yeah, but this is a chaos. So, Nayan, if the whole global thing that is happening with the FTA with Europe now and a lot of these
New countries.
new countries. I remember. I remember reading that you had written it was just India to US.
Yes.
And the whole you had already said that but the world is bigger and
What is changing?
world is changing because of a tariff, and there you go. So I hope you realize you have the vision sitting in you. I don't know how much you are using it for your own self. You come across as a person who wants everything right, but you have the vision. So now that the global scene is really on, and of course, a lot of India is going across to the Indian diaspora, whether it is UAE market, whether it is Europe, UK, US. Aren't you looking at that as a bigger game for yourself?
So, frankly, cross border. So, the new venture I'm working. So, after Shipyaari, I'm working on some distribution problem to solve, and that's when we are exactly solving this problem: is gateway to India or gateway to the world.
Awesome.
So, let's say some brands out of India wants to come to India with this D36 as a distribution partner, and we take care of entire distribution in India for them. And let's say some brands want to go outside India, we take care of the entire distribution. It can be a e-commerce marketplace or maybe a retail stores offline around that. So we solve that. So I see a large opportunity around the global business because all this FTA which is happening under the this new political changes which is happening in the geopolitical changes
Yes.
happening in India and US, and obviously that tariff war we have gone through that in last 6-7 months. So people look for stability.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That tariff thing which has happened kind of shaken the market. They will look for the alternate options elsewhere in the world. Obviously, US will be a big market. It won't disappear overnight. But
True.
over a decade of time, percentage of business will change. Like will this Australia, New Zealand, which is opening up, Europe, which is opening
Europe,
up, that
yeah.
mother of all deal which is happened,
Yeah.
market will open up for everybody. And that's when the right distribution partner or a right thing is required. And that's one, again, I'm in my early days of D36, so I'm still figuring out what are the problem we can solve it, because in the distribution I see there are multiple problems.
Yes, and with your this experience, do you see yourself doing the early movers advantage?
Yes, that's what I'm kind of working around that and thinking around in what are the possible problems coming up, and also many brands within India also want to go deeper. Like if you
Yes.
see all the D2C brands or not the conglomerate, but the second layer or the third layer still want to go to rural India.
Yes, the
I
rural
call-
urban, which is also very.
Correct. So like they also want to penetrate within the Bharat.
Yes.
So that Bharat thing is also one big opportunity I'm seeing now. How can we solve that as well? So there are 2-3 problem which I am kind of emphasis with evolving business. This problem will get little bigger and which may need a solutions. And I'm trying with my small capacity whatever I can do in that.
So you have you've also pioneered and being the initial partners with ONDC,
Yeah.
because ONDC is helping to penetrate within Bharat.
Within Bharat, yeah.
Right, so that's one advantage or the experience you are having. There is a whole gateway, and I think you can be the great partner for people wanting to come to India, because you have now understood the India game much better.
I also want to explore the global side of it because India is going global.
Absolutely.
I can't miss on that opportunity.
shouldn't.
I don't know how deeper I will go or what size of the pie I will get into that, but we'll have some space into that as well. And like I said, you need to have a right team to build around that. So again, in D36, I also built some team with obviously this time with some learning from the past कि ये करना है ये नहीं करना है. We'll build a small lean team to begin with it. Then you scale it up once business scale it up. So want to miss out will not miss out on the both opportunity. Want to keep my hands on both the side of it. Frankly
So
speaking.
I want to know more on your D36 because I read that you were talking about distributions, about discovery, distribution, and delivery, right?
yes.
And I really liked your thinking around what real India is not in the glass office or in the glass door. You really have to go down. What are you seeing over there? What is the opportunity? Are they looking at technology as a solve?
So in the distribution game, आज का अगर current problem if I see, it's more of a relationship driven. And it's more of a manual system. Like WhatsApp is there, ERP सारी information उसी में आती है. वो time obviously
अभी भी
अभी भी.
WhatsApp पे ही सारा है.
Well, see, there is a section of people who are using the small ERPs. There are certain apps which is solving for them. But most of the business, like communication, happens on the WhatsApp and the call.
Yeah, true.
And all that happens around that. What opportunity I think that obviously I will build a tech around that, but I don't want to sell the technology.
Okay.
Because people will not buy the technology, people will buy the benefits. कि ये टेक्नोलॉजी मेरे लिए क्या सॉल्व करके देगी. सो व्हाट वी आर डूइंग, वी आर बंडलिंग आवर टेक्नोलॉजी विद इन आवर प्रोडक्ट विच इज डिस्कवरी, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एंड डिलीवरी. डिस्कवरी में वी आर सॉल्विंग फॉर अ GTM अपॉर्चुनिटी और अ ब्रांड विजिबिलिटी. लेट्स से लाइक यू आर सेइंग क्रॉस बॉर्डर जाना है, दैट कम्स अंडर माय डिस्कवरी side of servicing, that you want to expand into other markets, which is you are there on offline, you want to go online, you are on online, you want to go offline, like cross channeling opportunities we are solving in the discovery side of it. In the distribution, we are trying to solve it from the visibility point of view, from the OEM to retailer. The technology which we are building will be available for OEM, dealers, sub-dealers, retailers, and end consumers as well, up to some extent. So
Nice.
there is no one system available in the distribution space today
Right.
where have all the users profile into that. Everybody is solving. Let's say you will see multiple apps जो retailer के लिए काम करेगी.
Correct.
There is a company, they are solving only for the distribution. There are companies who are solving for the OEM.
OEMs, yeah.
And our focus is that there has to be a single system where it needs to be done. And at the same time, credit is one of the opportunity in this space as well. Again, lending हर कोई कर रहा है, but lending with a structured approach is something we are kind of seeing an opportunity as well into this. And the third piece is the delivery, which is a transportation, which kind of we know it. So these are the 3-4 things which we are kind of building around that. And if you decode the D36 name, it's D36 is how it happened: discovery, distribution, and delivery. V is for value, and I for infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
So what we are trying to say that, can we do a distribution as an infrastructure service? If I give you infrastructure to scale your business, will that work in India or not work in India? So that's an early thesis we are working on, and still long way to go.
At least D3 is your pet peeve. I keep saying your discovery, distribution, and delivery. You believe
Keep
in that.
repeating every
you,
there,
you
because
believe in that mantra.
if you see, chalo, keeping aside my thesis, for any new business, what do you need? You need a right market.
You need the market. Yes.
You need a right distribution channel to reach to them.
Right.
And obviously, like I said, it needs to reach to you.
Yeah.
In any way, be it in offline, online, whatever में, आपके 3 ही चीज़ों में पूरा business है.
Correct. वो तो
आप
सही बात है.
अगर if you see, let's say we don't talk about the product, let's say content side of it. Content में भी Instagram becomes a discovery channel for many of the influencers.
You are right. Yes.
Again, it's a distribution channel as well.
Yes.
And they are delivering, because here the delivery is their content. So it is happening on the one platform. So Instagram kind of working on, or any platform is working on this 3 thesis, ki I'll give you discovery, distribution, and delivery of what you are doing.
Right. No, interesting. Really nice. I like that take of D3. I think I'm also going to use it. Nayan, so the new Nayan, now that you have taken a step back from Shipyaari, it must have taken a lot in you, or are you conscious? Because how do you manage suddenly that now I'm not even involved? So D36 is taking a lot of your time and passion, or how are you managing it?
So currently, obviously, I am off the day-to-day operation of Shipyaari. Then I went on some spiritual break for 2-3 months, and every morning I was like, आज मैं क्या करूँगा?
Yeah.
Once after doing that,
But was it a conscious call for you to move out, or was your investor partner said ki I want the founders off?
no, so it was health as well as the design. So I choose, like I said, I want to see that is company running without me or not running without me, because when you are building a legacy, you need to make sure that it needs to run without you as well.
Absolutely. Yes.
And अगर इससे कुछ reveal होता है, so it's something that, is company surviving without me? Yes, it is surviving. It has an initial issues or initial transition problem which has happened, but team which is managing now is, they are doing a fab job and they are running the show. Obviously, strategy may change based on what they believe right, what they believe wrong. So they are running the show with respect to that. For me, what it changed, I was always under the conscious feeling under that I am needed every at Shipyaari.
That is the bubble we create.
Bubble
No?
we created in our mind
Yes.
कि यार मेरे बिना Shipyaari कैसे चलेगी?
Indispensable.
Indispensable.
Yeah.
But after that I left. Obviously I had 1 week or 2 weeks. I was waking up in the morning and said that what will I do now? Though I took a conscious call of not doing myself, but still it keep doubting कि आप अब क्या करूँगा मैं?
Right.
That's when again I had a family trip. I haven't done it from long time, so I went on the break, 2-3 months of break. I started somewhere in the January. Now D36, when I'm meeting the people, like when I went for the trip, I met the multiple distributor, retailer, क्या चल रहा है क्या नहीं चल रहा है, because this idea of distribution was there from quite some time.
Okay.
I didn't put it on the piece of paper and I didn't work it on that because I was in some obligations there as well. So nowadays D36 is taking the major share of my time, and my daughters are taking some time in the kitty, which they earlier not
They
getting
didn't
it.
get you.
Yes.
Yeah. So the daughter and the wife will get some time
Yes.
from you. The new Nayaan, the new founder, what are the mistakes that you, or in the hindsight, what are you going to do differently in D36?
I will focus more on the structure in the system this time.
Okay.
We took that conscious call after some years in the Shipyaari. So here our focus is that I want to build a system which doesn't require Nayaan day to day. I want my intervention shouldn't be there on every day. The team or the structure or the system needs to be run independently than the founder. Because when, like I said, when you want to build for a long term, it needs to run without you as well. Right. So kind of creating a structure, kind of creating a system which may not need Nayaan every day.
So you don't want to be now day-to-day operating
Day-to-day
it.
operation.
What surprised you the most once you stepped back from Shipyaari?
What surprised me? It surprised me. Obviously, it made me calmer myself, because I was, when you're running or when you're on the horse, you are a jockey, you want to run it.
Yeah.
When you are off the horse, you be a calmer. So what I have seen change in myself, that I become calmer. I was not working for a firefighting. That gave the time for some strategic thinking. Sometimes when you are see the things on the hindsight, you realize what was right, what was
Yes,
wrong.
true.
So that reflection or introspection was something changed the way Nayaan 1.0 or 2.0, whatever you call it, is different, is what I
It's
feel
different, much more calmer. What do you see the role of AI in logistics, Nan? Because as you see, and we were just last evening reading an article where technology and tech companies are going through drastic shift and the way they are hiring. Now you're also creating a technology layer, right? The way you need so many coders, and you. How is this new D36 and the way with AI? Are you seeing things changing? Are you all right and deep into it?
So yes, AI is changing the world. If you say that AI is not changing, it's if you are saying you are staying in the black world, frankly speaking, dark world, because AI is changing the world the way we are living, and it has penetrated at every level. Obviously, the use case may be different. People are using ChatGPT for their work and all of that. Is the very basic
That's very
penetrations
basic, yes.
currently. With respect to the business technology side of AI, yes, AI is solving many things in logistics as well, because logistics is boring, and boring has a too much of data. And when there is a too much of data, somebody needs to thoroughly read that. So AI is doing that data validations and data checking around that, and from that data insight, AI is coming up with some route optimizations. If I say from purely from the logistics side of it, what it was not solving earlier, the faster, the better consumer experience can be built via AI, because you can predict from the past based on the data and the
Data,
machine
yes.
learnings which you have it. So logistics or any business will change with respect to AI. AI will also change the way we are calling ourselves productive.
Okay.
पहले हम like if you are sitting in 8 hours in the office, and you are, let's say you are writing a mails to the clients, you are doing some data crunching and all of that. So that 8 hours work which you used to put it yourself, with AI it will reduce.
True.
You will get more time to do something else. So your productivity bolo ya your passion, let's say your other passion, you want to explore something, you can do it now, because with AI, obviously, it will not replace you. It will accelerate your speed. It will help you. जो आप 8 घंटे में करते थे possibility, it helps you to do it in 2 hours, 4 hours, depends on what you are building. The rest of the 4 hours is available for you. How you do it now or what you build with that 4 hours will change the game, not the AI.
So, which is one question you are really currently sitting with where you don't have an answer?
Will I build D36 in the same strategy and approach which I did with Shipyaari, or I should do a new approach? I'm still figuring out an answer कि कैसे करेंगे. Is it like what I did was right or wrong? I don't know. Obviously, people will judge it for that. But still, I'm figuring out, should I go bootstrap route? Should I go funding route in the D36? So that's kind of still dilemma, you call it. Or
You are still not open to funding at front.
again, I'm still in dilemma. What
Yes,
what
still.
I will do it. That's one questions I keep asking myself, but I'm not able to get an answer for.
What do founders misunderstand about success and that becomes only clearer later?
Success solves some problem, not all the problem. And people currently see valuation as a validation or a valuation as a success. Whereas valuation is not a success. In one way, it is gives you the cash stress-free approach to your business,
Okay.
but it creates a different problem for you.
Sure.
Because when you have a capital and when you go for a speed, you may expose your weaknesses. When you get a money, you want to
Go all out.
go all out.
That's the reason you got the money.
Correct. And that's when you know that your unit economics are not working well. It will accelerate your loss, not the growth. Revenue may increase, but
losses
bottom
will
line will not be stable. So people consider funding or a valuation as a success, whereas it's a success in a one way, but it puts you in a different pressure for you, or it helps you keep your guard open and make sure that you don't make the mistake, and make sure that your product, your unit economics is well within your control.
So then what is success for you then, if it is?
Success for me or a validation for me is that your system needs to run smoothly. Your people need to be happy. You take your money home, whatever the cash, what is your reserve. And everybody in the ecosystem needs to have a mutual respect around the business. So for me, again, like I said, I become calmer. So my current definition is that it needs to run smoothly for everybody. It shouldn't have any roadblock or any problem for anybody. That's
So
a success for a business.
So entire ecosystem has to be seamless and
Seamless,
working
yes.
successfully.
Because that's when you solve the problem.
Yes, true. What's one leadership belief that you no longer hold today?
Controlling business means you owning the business. So, like I said, when you are on the horse, you keep riding on the horse and you say that I am owning this horse. But now I feel that delegation has a more power, and delegation can scale. So that's one belief which I used to keep it in my mind. If I control, I will scale faster. Now I feel it, if I delegate more, I'll scale faster.
And this is so true. I think a lot of founders have to learn this, that you are the one coming in your own way.
Yeah.
You just get out. And then I guess the business will scale. But I'm sure a lot of investors tell the same story to the founders that come off the way.
Because sometimes founders become emotional because it's like a baby. Like I spent 10, 12 years building Shipyaari. So it's like a baby for me. You sometimes take decision which is maybe practical, not practical, but emotional.
More emotional, yeah.
So that's when you need to realize this is the time you give somebody else to run the show. And if you see, let's say, Apple succession story, once the succession come to Tim Cook, it scaled further.
Yes.
When you see Google, it goes to non-founder, it needs to go to the operator who can scale it further. So even in India, you see what Zomato did recently, like Eternal,
Yes.
Dipender Mood and Albinder came, because it's a time where the operator needs to run the show. Founder still work with an emotions.
Emotions are there. That's true. And I met one founder, Nayaan, he gave me a very interesting take that don't treat your business or your startup as your baby, because that's where you start mixing things. Your
The
baby
emotional
is your
thing.
baby. वो unconditional love, growing, वो बड़ा अलग है.
Correct.
ये आपका business है. It
Yes.
has to make money. It has to give money.
Yes.
It has to have that
Works.
purpose. It has to work for the for
All of
everybody's
us.
benefit. It's so it is conditional.
Yeah.
So don't start mixing things there, and that's where the emotional
Correct.
thing goes wrong. But you're so right. So now I'm going to change the gear, Nayan, and let's have a rapid fire. So we are going to do this. So Nayan, bootstrapping of funding.
Bootstrapping till you know what you want to do. And then once you are sure, go for funding.
Go for funding.
It's a phase-wise approach.
Hustle culture, useful or overrated?
Initially good, but it needs to phase out soon.
Faster than what you did?
Yeah, it should.
First sign a founder is insecure.
He's talking PR or headlines and not the cash flow and the business metrics.
So he wants to become marketable more than the fundamentals of
Because
business.
they want to talk what is trending, not what is really required.
So true. First sign a company is scaling too fast.
Revenue is growing, not the profit, and there is too much chaos.
One leadership habit you had to unlearn.
I mentioned let go of control, delegate more.
Delegate more. One thing small brands underestimate.
Cash flow is manageable.
Wow. I think that's your CA and financial mindset. That's
Cash flow needs to be managed. It's not automatically manageable. You need to manage it yourself.
awesome. And one thing big brands overestimate.
That we are not replaceable.
Right. And small brands underestimate.
The importance of cash flow, which I said.
Yeah, you just said that. That we mentioned. Then with that, thank you very much for being here. And I truly enjoyed it. There's lots of learning.
Yeah.
Especially the whole new logistic deep, because for me it's a deeper learning, the whole D3 world.
Correct. Thank you, Darshana, for having me here. It was, frankly speaking, a nice chatting, and I kind of reflected what I was remembering earlier, and it puts me on my reflection point at some discussion which we talked about, let's say my earlier losses or earlier innovations point of it, but me relived what I gone through in last 10, 12 years. It was enjoy chatting with you.
Thank you.